Hi, and welcome to The Leader's Edge. I'm Emily Chiwa, executive and leadership coach and co host of this podcast, together with my co host, Georgia, who could not make it today with us. We are on a mission to inspire leaders to sharpen their competitive advantage and make a positive impact in their organization and community. Today, I am truly overjoyed to welcome Divya Parekh to our show to talk with us on a human centered approach to using AI in business. Divya is an accomplished best selling author of several books, and her latest was just published in February 2026. And it is called The AI Agency: How Bold Leaders Build Scalable, Human Centered AI Without Losing Their Soul. And that's our focus today. So, to give you guys a little bit more on Divya's background and why you need to stay with us to hear her speak, she is a Thinkers 50, top 50 influential coach. Her professional career includes more than 2 decades of experience in positions as a university associate professor, scientist, as a biopharmaceuticals professional, corporate leader, and executive coach, and now an AI leadership advisor, consultant, and speaker. Divya created the AI Leadership it's the AI Leadership Edge Index to help leaders rethink decision making, influence, and performance in a rapidly changing world. So, if that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will. Divya, it sounds inconceivable that one person can be all of these things. When do you get the time?
When do I get the time? We make time for things that matter to us.
Yeah, yeah, for
It's
sure.
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's if you are finding joy in what you do, then it's not a chore. You just enjoy doing it. And I enjoy loving. I'm an insatiable learner and I love learning. And of course, when AI came out, I don't know, like it's been 1,000 days or more than like 1,000+ days. I don't know exactly.
hmm,
It was very fascinating and just like anybody else, I was experiencing extreme fear of it. Like, okay, what is this? What is it going to do? And also, if you kind of think about it, when we go to the industrial age, yes, there were some iron smiths who lost their jobs, but then the new jobs sprung up. So it's
yeah,
important to dance with new technology because it's not that AI will replace people, it will be people who learn to dance with AI will replace the other people.
right. That is so important to remember, people. And in the book, which is the AI agency book, Divya, you created a practical end-to-end playbook to help us cut through the noise
Mhm.
so that we can choose the right use cases for adoption. So it's not like we are expected to adopt AI across the board, and we need to have a plan. And I think that's what people maybe feel lost or confused about. And I think this book is so helpful because it's going to help us build some fluency, establish governance. I mean, a lot of us are worried about the ethics, the governance, and you mentioned is human centered. So making sure that we take our people with us on the journey and not making them feel like they're going to be replaced then therefore rebel against using it, or potentially, cause a lot more friction than we need to. So especially CEOs, if you are listening to us today, pay close attention. And before we go further in this topic, I want you as the audience to think about this question. So pick a number on a scale of 1 to 10. You guys know the drill. 1 is low, 10 is high. How comfortable are you with using AI right now in business? Right? So now that you have your number in mind, maybe you can share it in the comments. I mean, Divya, you started to tell us why this book and why now. And what do you really want us to start taking away from it? So maybe break it down for us, give us more of that story, and then maybe some nuggets that are coming out from the book to make us to help us understand.
Absolutely. Why now? Because gone are the days when we were saying, oh, AI could be a bubble, it's going to burst, and this is what's going to happen. So if you look at the trajectory that AI has happened in 2022, it was like, whoa, what's this? In 2020,
3.
2023, 2024, companies were looking into like, oh yeah, let me see if I want to use it or not. 2024, 2020, they were saying, oh yeah, we are not going to let AI replace human beings.
Mm-hmm.
2025 and 2026, like Oracle, thousands of people were laid off. Block, 40% laid off. The CEOs went from saying, we are not going to replace human beings to saying, oh yeah, look at the efficiencies we have gained. Look at it, like, we are AI native, AI first companies. We have the competitive advantage. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's okay. So it has moved so rapidly and so fast. So that's one of the things is the people's aspect. Now, in
Yeah.
terms of the companies, what is happening is we are in this rush, in this race. I want to be AI first. I want to be AI first. And in that, you look at the tools. People consider that, oh, AI is a tool. It has got answers to everything. It's like a magic wand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give an example of a company where an executive came to me where they had invested $5 million on a software, which was
Yeah.
specific to their industry. And just to kind of keep the client confidentiality, I can't go in details.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. They did not look at the process. They did not have any governance. They did not think it through. We want to be a native. This has got good reviews. This is like really good. And the
Yeah.
salespeople from there will have good support. And everything seemed good on surface. But when they started implementing, that software was not for them
Mm.
because their company, even though it was part of that industry, was operating very differently. So now 5 million is down the drain, and all the people who had been relegated to onboarding and the rollout of that AI tool, they were laid off because, like, hey, you brought in a really, really bad thing. So
Yeah.
what they did was they did not examine the root cause. And this gentleman, let's call him John, was referred to me by somebody else. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, Divya, like, we are in this crunch and I only have 2 months to turn this around or I'm gone. And he was the sole breadwinner in his family because they had decided his wife would stay home, take care of the kids, and he would be the breadwinner. Now his
Yeah.
kids are going off to college. And so you can imagine, this gentleman, he's under so much pressure.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
And he did share that he did put out some risks associated with the tool, but nobody listened to him. But now he was going to be made the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was we sat down. We took a look at, like, what their company was, what were their values, what were they planning to accomplish, what goals did they have. It was not just for the AI first, but like what were the business impact and outcome they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then we built a proposal where he was going to take the tool which could help them, but take a very tiny portion of their whole process. So I
Mm-hmm.
come from a Lean Six Sigma background. So we looked at his process and something that was very quick, low hanging fruit, because now people are like, oh, we don't want to touch that tool.
Yes, exactly.
So from like,
After the huge failure.
yeah, so from like loving it, people like, oh, like so and tie it that we don't want to touch it. So we took
Mm-hmm.
something that could work and that could save some time for people, make the grunt work easy. So they just took like one piece of the process.
Right.
And he said that I need, like, I cannot turn it around in 2 months. I need 3 months because, they served it. it is in the fintech world, so it has got like a lot of regulations and a lot of policies and a lot of guardrails are there.
Yeah.
So he took it where he could do that, and it so only 10 people. We started out with 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. They become really good at it. Then they became the champions, and then they rolled out to another team. So
Right.
within 3 months' time, it went from one team to second team to third team. And during this time, as they were using it, whatever problems came up, the developers started fixing it,
Right.
talking with the tool people.
Yeah.
So it was, now you see what happened over here. It was not AI that was wrong. It was the human beings who rushed into it, who did not make the right call, did not bring in the discernment. So that's why human beings are at the core of it. But it is
Yeah.
understanding AI. You are going to be, I always say that you're going to have to go war with AI every single day. I do that too, every single day, because you are getting to learn AI. It has its fallacies, it does hallucinate. And the problem is that, not to go into details, but so many times what happens is that when AI is taught to learn from its recursive data, then it's learning from the things that may be wrong. So you have to look, and that's the whole reason, understanding it, what it is, not just kind of running with it. That is
Yeah.
why now is the time to understand how to onboard AI, why governance is necessary, why ethics is necessary, and how you're going to leverage the experience of people that you already have. And that's what
Mhm.
we did.
Yeah.
I
And
was
I think that that is in a nutshell what you would describe as your human centered approach, right? Because you started from first principles in terms of the company. What are we about? What do we want to do? What are we trying to accomplish? What are our values? All those basic things. And I think what's also instrumental in how the new approach was compared to the original one was the fact that even in a company that was burned, it was starting over with a small group and testing and sort of allowing those tests to show its own fruits, the results, so that you can then roll it into, and they became champions to help roll it out into and across the companies. I mean, I don't know. I think we have to be careful, and I think embedded in the story, Divya, is be careful that we don't just sort of delegate almost all our intelligence to AI or the experts that say that they can give us something. And because we lack that knowledge, and I think that's what you were explaining as you went deeper, you must have some basic knowledge from the executive level to really make sure that you're comfortable, and the guardrails are there to help you ensure that you don't it's not just a black box running things.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. And it's just like as you would be launching out any software product. What do?
Mhm.
You run it, you test it, and you find that there are issues with it as you do the
Mhm.
quality testing. This is no different. You still have to have the quality checks, the developers checks in it. And
Yeah.
it's an iterative process. It just doesn't happen like, "Woo, I'm going to, by the power of testing."
It's not magic.
Magic.
It's not a magic wand. So, what about? I think in the book you mentioned the impact feasibility grid, and I think that's something very important. Is there an easy way for you? And I think that's how people can understand how to choose or what to choose to work on with AI. Is that something that you can explain to us easily?
Yeah, it's a long one. The impact
Is
physical
it?
grid. Yeah, but like what we can do is, first I want to like kind of think about is that before I kind of go into that, it's important to think about where you are at. So if you are the CEO of the company, right? And
Mhm.
now if you are thinking about, let's say, whether you are a startup, and that will also drive like who you are. whether you're going for IPO, whether you're already a public
Yeah. So
company.
say you're a CEO of a family-run manufacturing type company.
Okay. So if you're a family run company, then you need to sit down and
So it's
write
kind of
your goals.
mid-size. Hmm.
You need to sit down and make sure that, okay, what is my revenue for this year? And I know this may sound almost like a business plan, but the key is where you are at, right? Because here's the thing. If you don't know how much revenue can you put in, how much revenue can you lose, how much time are you going to allow for the AI launch? Do you
Hmm.
have AI governance? Do you have, what risk can you take? Because if your risk tolerance is not strong, then maybe you think about like putting it in phases. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's one of the key things, is like first assessing as to where where so that's the first thing, like, okay, this is my risk tolerance, this is my risk mitigation plan.
Hmm.
And after that, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at, this is my process, like the whole company,
Yeah.
where is the most bang for the buck that I'm going to get.
Hmm.
Because it's not just how should I say, like just going and applying, like, willy-nilly. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes. It makes sense.
So now, if I would say, like, it's a 4 quadrant model
Hmm.
that you look at. Now let's say the mark, I'm just going to go with like one of my examples of one of my clients.
Sure.
So small marketing agency, and they knew that, a lot of people, like, now designs are coming out, so they're not going to be able to provide that. And a lot of graphic designers are going out of business, and of course they have to uh, adapt. So,
Hmm.
like marketing agency, so we said, like, okay, what is going to provide high impact, which is like, a portion of your business or your process, which will deliver a lot of value with minimal risk.
Hmm.
I call it high impact, high visibility.
Right.
So now in this case, it was, they had the graphic designers, and a lot of people were coming back and saying, oh, Canva has AI tools and all that. They had a lot of individual entrepreneurs.
Yes.
We sat down, we took a look at it, and I said, let's explore, what could you do so that you don't lose your customers? They said, what if we connected AI where they got customization, which is not available in Canva,
Hmm.
right? So this is high impact and high feasibility, because they already had API integrations in a lot of the back stuff, where, like, the clients would put in
Hmm.
their questionnaire, and based on the questionnaire, the graphic designers would kind of like take that information and build some designs, and they would give it back on the platform. So they
Right.
had streamlined that process. So
Hmm.
this was, I would say, when you're looking at it, this was high impact, high feasibility. They did not have to go find new clients. They did not have to convince them to do that. So they said, we're starting a beta group, and for just 6 months, we will be charging this on a subscription model. 80% of their clients signed up.
Right. There you go.
And then, so what they did was they enhanced the customer experience,
Hmm.
and what people were still spending time with Canva, now they were getting the same value but at half the price before what they were paying the marketing agency. So instead of losing all their clients, guess what? They retained it.
Yeah.
So that's one example. Then second piece, you got to look at your business processes and check, like, okay, I have taken care of my short term. So now this positions me as an AI first or AI native company.
Hmm.
That's important. Now the second thing is that I want to think long term. And when I'm thinking long term, I want to have high impact but with some low feasibility. And when I talk about low feasibility, is that now you're building your own model,
Mm.
okay? Where either you build it internally or you build it something with your clients. So I'll go back to the marketing agency. What
Mm-hmm.
do you do? What happened in their situation was because they had been working with me, we had finessed their process so well that the tool that they created, it was short term and long term. And now what they did was they have their own developers, they worked on it, and now they've started a very low cost subscription model, and they have had a whole lot of people sign up in the first tier who will automatically be upgraded to the second tier because they're seeing, oh, the value is so much that I need to go for it. So like,
Right.
so basically either you're developing a proprietary AI model or like, just like for coaches, right? Coaches develop signature products.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own frameworks that they have created based on their experience. Or when you're looking at the internal process, you look at like, okay, what are the time suck? What are the energy suck? What are the drainers? I call them like the drainers. So you
Mm-hmm.
look at those points and then you optimize that process internally.
Yeah.
What you're
So
doing
it's
is
like
like,
you're going through, it's like you're
yeah,
going through an iterative process to sort of figure out where are the best places
exactly.
to insert AI that would improve or impact productivity, efficiency, customer experience, or any of those things.
So you're planning
And
for it.
retention was a big thing. You don't want to lose, yeah. And in that case, it was a big thing. So yeah, yeah. So I mean, I love that example, and I think there are so many more things that Divya has spelled out in the book. So if you were to take the book, for example, and probably start at least maybe if you are listening to this and you're not sure, or you're now it's now piquing your interest in how you can actually apply some of this, um, I'm thinking to recommend Divya's book because it will give you some really good insights into how, which I think is where we are sort of getting stuck in terms of implementation. And I think, I don't know if you mentioned it in the book, but we all have the shadow AI going on, probably in the organization, even if we don't have an AI plan or we don't actually have an AI policy yet. But pretty much we can suspect that, a very big portion of our team is probably using AI somewhere. So I think it's also important for us as leaders to get a handle on that and sort of figure out how we want to use it within the company rather than it just, as you said, Divya, that word willy nilly, and it becoming used willy nilly across the organization, and we lose the potential to that we can gain from from using it in a structured way. So Divya, what calls to act? Is there a call to action you want the audience to take based on this short conversation? I know we can talk for about at least another half an hour or more on this, but we're already sort of over time with this. So, not cutting you short, but wondering, what are some calls to action you'd like to see for our leaders out there?
Well, I would say that go ahead for that impact feasibility grid because as I talked about, we talked about the first thing to go for, then the second thing, which is not to be your first move, and then just to kind of wrap it up, look at like, what is low impact high feasibility, which could be simple as scheduling assistants, chatbots. Low impact low feasibility, just skip them. They may sound cool, but these are not the things for you. So if you were to
Mhm.
just kind of take that one grid and apply it, it will help you to apply and bring on AI in a very critical manner, in a way that will help your business grow, that will help you grow, and that will help you utilize your processes in the best possible manner. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Divya. That is wonderful. So, people remember the feasibility grid, and you're looking for the high impact, side of the grid, whether it's low feasibility or high feasibility, look for the high impact items and focus on those. So thank you so much, Divya. There's so much more to learn about AI, and I'm so grateful to having you on, for you agreeing to come on and speak to us here on the Leader's Edge. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful,
Emily. Such a
have
pleasure.
a wonderful,
Sure.
you're
Sure.
welcome. You're welcome. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.